Hey, everybody. Welcome to Slim's Fist Fact, episode 10. My name is Brandon, and I'm here with my lovely co host, who is the Steve Martin to my John Candy, the Will Ferrell to my John C. Riley, and the Dan Aykroyd to my John Belushi. Rick, what's up, man?
I don't know if I can live up to those. That was a steep list. Jeez.
Hey, at least I gave you all the
Take
skinny
home, buddy.
guys.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you're implying that John C. Riley is not skinny. How rude of you.
He's smaller, but he's not as small as Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell's also like 6'5", and that
Yeah,
goes
it
well.
helps when you're
But
huge.
besides these being skinny to slightly bigger people, what all these people have in common, except one of them. Starting off with
They're
a
on
question. I
SNL.
mean, no. So
Oh,
you're very close with your guess because I feel like the Aykroyd and Belushi gave it away with being on SNL and Will Ferrell. They have all hosted SNL except John Belushi. He's the only one that didn't host SNL.
but he was on it.
But
Okay.
he was on it. So
Okay.
Aykroyd was on it, but hosted later in like the 90s. Will Ferrell was on it and hosted. And Belushi was on it, did not host. Candy, John C. Riley, and Steve Martin did not host. Or, I'm sorry, were not on it. Were not cast members, but they hosted. I did a lot of research. I was like, oh, these people are funny. SNL celebrated their 50th. I was like, I'm going to see if they were all cast members. And then I'm like, okay, but they all had to at least host SNL. And then they all didn't except
Yeah.
one. And I'm like, that's a great little, fun
That's a
little
good
thing.
tidbit to start with.
Yeah. And it was weird. So, like, Belushi made a cameo appearance on there, like, before he died, and was also a musical guest as the Blues Brothers, besides the bits after they did the Blues Brothers movies, but never hosted SNL.
That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, he died.
He could have done a good job hosting.
Yeah, he would have been a great host if he was alive. I feel like he would have, like, if he stayed alive.
Clearly, he had a couple opportunities since he was on as a musical guest and a cameo.
That's true. That's true. I think he would have
They should have
hosted
let him.
like later on in like the '90s when they had like um,
When they had a
Chris
killer
Chris
cast.
Farley, Adam Sandler, David Spade, all of those people on there. Aykroyd was one of the original 7
Jimmy
cast members.
Fallon.
Was on in the early 2000s. He's not in that 90s group of like Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler, all of them. Fallon was in the early 2000s with like Tina Fey and Amy Poulter and all those people.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. I really thought maybe he kind of started in like 98, 99.
I mean, maybe, but all those guys were done by then. Because Sandler and then,
Yeah.
Sandler's making The Water Boy, Will Ferrell was making his movies, stuff like that. So, but no, I don't know when. I'm gonna Google it now. I'm gonna say 2003. What do you want to guess? Oh,
'97.
you're closer. 98 to '04. He was on there.
I'll say because I feel like, yeah, I feel like some of his bits are a little bit older, but and I say older, obviously not compared to those other guys, but like in general, not just that one elite group you're talking about, but just the '90s as a decade. SNL just had straight killers. I mean, just all the time. Their cast was amazing.
No, they 100% did. But anyway, I will say that I feel like Prime was probably late 80s, early 90s. That's the Farleys, Sandlers, David Spade. And like you still had some of the original 7 on there, like Dan Aykroyd, and it just went off. But
Yeah.
they celebrated their 50th. It's on Peacock. I haven't watched it yet. They had like a concert / funny skit thing, and I want to watch it. Meryl Streep was on it. You know, for everybody out there, the absolute celebrity love of my life was on there, and it was her first time ever being on SNL, which is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm surprised she hadn't made a cameo before that.
Nope, it was her first time on SNL, and it was at the 50th anniversary. But pretty solid. I mean, it had a good crew. I listened to Sandler's. He did like a 50th anniversary song on the guitar that was pretty cool about all the people and stuff. I did listen to that. It was pretty awesome. But to keep it going with El Podcast episode 10, even though Rick says it's 9 because the Christmas special doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't really exist.
Just like our other 30 fucking episodes that we did. Drinks of the week. What are you doing? Brought to you by Mac.
Just finished a Gatorade, white cherry, best flavor. Glacier cherry, I think is the actual name, but it's white and it's cherry flavored, so I just call it white cherry.
It's a white Gatorade. You don't call Gatorade by the flavor, you call it by the color.
That's facts. But for our podcast drink, we have a Peroni.
That's good. I'm still doing Tropical Lightning because I want to have a new beer in my kegerator before my birthday. So I have to slowly drink the crap out of Tropical Lightning, but try not to drink more than like 4 of them and get hammered on like a random Tuesday.
Just cut loose. Have
why not? Why not? It's not like I travel for work and got to do stuff, but it'll be fine. But that is Drinks of the Week brought to you by our good friend Mac, who we talked about last
cheers,
week.
Brother.
They got engaged. Cheers. I'm going to tap the camera. Look at that beer. Oh, just... For everybody not watching, fantasizing over the beer in my camera right now.
Brandon was sensually
so good.
The camera.
So good to drink beer again. But Rick, on to our first lovely game that we play. Quote of the week. Give you a layup.
A layup.
Layup this week.
For a quick recap, Brandon finds an absolute random thing said by a random person that we both know.
Anybody in our friend group. Anybody in our friend group or somebody that's very close to us, like my uncle, my brother, Rick's wife could say something funny that like I hear in the background of like when we're playing video games or something. I write it down in my notes app, and Rick has to guess who said it the next week.
Yeah. Totally reasonable, guys. I totally agree with you.
So I have 2 weeks worth of quotes to go through. I picked the best one, I think.
Yep.
So I'll read it for you. This is verbatim, word for word. And that was the last anyone heard of Dalton. Some say his ghost still lingers around the third deck. Who said it?
I agree this should be a layup, and then it's just not going to be.
You're definitely over. I know you're 0 for 2 or 3. However many we have of these quotes, I know you're 0 for
3.
I'm just going to keep a running scoreboard of the quotes as well.
We're going to go with Vincent Thomas Frangillo.
That is a good answer. I will read the entire quotation conversation down because Vincent does play a part.
This is bullshit then. This is bullshit. I get a tiny snippet.
So
He calls it a layup and then intentionally misleads me. You heard it, chat.
It's a layup because it's funny. Vincent goes, "Tell him happy birthday." Then Rick goes, "And that was the last anyone ever heard of Dalton. Some say his ghost still lingers around the third deck." You said it.
I don't think it's allowed to be me.
Hey, that's why I said anybody in our friend group. You're in our friend group.
I can't be held responsible for things that I say.
You're in our friend group. I thought it was funny because I was like, oh, I don't have any good ones, and then I found one that we're talking about Dalton's ghost haunting a third deck of something.
No idea. No, I have no recollection.
The only thing I know what we're talking about is it was Dalton's dad's birthday. And Dalton's birthday was the next day, but we were talking about Dalton's dad's birthday. And I don't know what happened. But Rick said that. Rick's 0 for 3. We're going 0 for 3. I don't know if you're 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 now. I guess I could just count. But we're going 0 for 3 because that's the score I wrote down. So that's what Rick's going with. Oh, man. It was tough. That one was tough. You even
You're
said that. That
ridiculous.
came out of
You're
your brain.
ridiculous.
That came out of your head.
That's
Hey, man. I haven't found one that
equally
I've
as
said
bad of
yet.
a chance. Equally as bad of a chance of me guessing.
Maybe. Maybe. But this week in history, Rick, bring us down with some knowledge.
Ooh. Do we want to go oldest to most recent or most recent to oldest?
Most recent to oldest. Let's go that way.
Okay. On February 19th, 1913, the first prize is put into a Cracker Jack box.
Damn. I would have had a lot of prizes, but I don't think I've ever enjoyed Cracker Jacks.
They're not for enjoyment, they're for the prize since 1913.
Was it bubble gum?
I have no idea what the prize was.
I bet it was bubble gum. I'd put a lot of money that says the first prize in a Cracker Jack box was bubble gum. You eat this salted caramel candy that ruins your teeth, and then you can chew your teeth away.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. All
What
right.
about you? What do you got for most recent?
February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1929. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre in Chicago occurred.
Beautiful, light-hearted topic to start us off. That was beautiful.
7 gangsters allegedly killed. Well, not allegedly killed. They were killed. Allegedly, the hit was put on them by Al Capone because he was a South Side Chicago gangster. And these were all the North Side Irish people. South Side Chicago gangsters were Italian. North Side was Irish. And 7 gangsters got killed. And then Al Capone was supposed to go on trial the next day and didn't. Said, I'm too sick, so I'm not going to trial. And then they arrested him way later on in life for tax evasion, and he spent the rest of his life in Rebirth Island.
Top tier joke there. Top tier reference.
I wrote it down. I wrote Rebirth Island joke. Make sure you say it. But I want to know. So I was reading about this. Al Capone, clearly a bad man, right? Gangster, all that stuff. And he went to this giant meeting that they had in Atlantic City where all the big families got together. I can't remember what they called it. And like Lucky Luciano was there, like OG gangsters from like, the 20s and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I always wondered in an alternate reality or universe, which exists, by the way, for everyone wondering, how he would have fared as a gangster in New York City as an Italian.
I still think he does great.
Because he worked with
in terms of mafia and
he worked with some of the other families in New York, but he could technically work with all of them because he was in Chicago, so he was far away. So then you throw his gang into New York, and now instead of working with them, he's going to work with some and fight with others. I wonder how he would have fared.
Yeah, Chicago's still huge at the time. Still.
Oh yeah, it was probably the third most populous city in America at the time. I'm saying behind New York and probably like Boston.
Yeah, I would say that's fair. But then you still have a ton of violence. You still have a ton of cutthroat people during a time where everything is kind of fair game. And yeah, no, 100% think he still succeeds. He might not be as well known, maybe not, but he definitely carved out the piece for himself in Chicago. Funny enough, rolling right off the gangster the gangster angle here, because how did those gangsters make most of their money and create the establishment they had?
Alcohol.
Selling booze.
Yeah.
This week in history, also on February 19th, but in 1881, Kansas becomes the first state to prohibit all alcohol beverages.
That's why Dorothy tried to leave.
Boo, Kansas. Everyone say boo,
Kansas. Fuck Kansas. For all you Kansanites listening out there.
Kansanites.
fuck the 20s or whatever it was. Chicago was the second most populated
Wow.
city in America during the 20s, with over 2 million people. Had 2.7 million people. New York was one with 5.6, and then this would have all been my other guess besides Boston, but Philly was number 3 at 1.8, which makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. That's so crazy that 100 years ago, New York City still had over 5 million people.
Yeah, 10
Like
years
that's
later in
insane.
1930, it had 7 million people.
But like 5 million people is still a huge city today.
Yeah,
And that was
1880.
100 years ago.
1880 was when it hit over 1. 1880, it hit 1.2 million people.
That's insane. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I live in Louisville, and it's not a huge city. They know that. They call it like the small town, big city, or something like some weird nickname like that. But there's over 600,000 people here. That is plenty. Like, I don't want to live anywhere that's much bigger, to be quite honest. Uh,
I want to
and
throw it
just
out.
thinking of like,
Go
just
ahead.
thinking of like 10 times that is insane.
All right, I'll throw it out there. 1920. So we're going 100 years now. 1920 Chicago had 2.7 million people in it. 2020 Chicago, 2.7 million people in it. Chicago has not grown since the 1920s. It went up to 3.3 in 1930 and 1940 and the 50s, and then started going back down in the 90s. Probably all the crime.
That's pretty crazy, though. I wonder if it's, well, first of all, I bet it's because a big reason Chicago's population was because of the railroads.
Yeah,
We no longer travel majorly by railroad. But um, that's pretty wild.
I think that's great.
I've assumed it.
I think
I've
that's
assumed it
really
was
cool.
bigger.
So think of when you go to Chicago and think, man, this is fucking crowded. Al Capone was thinking the same thing in 1920. What's another one that you have? Banking on down to me, big dog.
You
Oh
didn't
no,
say your
you
second.
literally just said one.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second. You didn't say a second one.
Yeah, fuck Kansas. All right.
Yeah.
Yesterday, February 16th, 1923, a good old man by the name of Howard Carter opened the inner burial chamber of King Tut's tomb and found his sarcophagus.
Ooh,
Yes.
spooky.
The modern day grave robber.
Heck
But
yeah.
I think that's really cool because when I went to the British Museum, I saw a lot of artifacts from King Tut's tomb that they're not allowed to take. But
Yeah. That's the
and
wild
that's
part of
and
that.
that's why the British Museum is one of the most haunted places in the world because they have all the creepy shit from the rest of the world that they conquered.
No do.
Throw me your last one if you have 3.
I do. I do indeed.
Mm.
The day after Valentine's Day, February 15th,
The 15th,
1879,
79.
Congress authorizes women lawyers to practice before the Supreme Court.
So they got to be lawyers before they were allowed to vote.
Dude, okay, so that was literally where my mind was when I read this fact off. Because the women's suffrage movement was what, 1920s?
20s.
Yeah. So 40 plus years before they could vote, not only were they allowed to practice law, they were allowed to practice
They,
law in front
they
of
were
the
they were
Supreme
allowed to
Court,
practice law at the highest level of law in the country,
but not vote.
but couldn't say who the president is going to be or your local representative for you couldn't vote for mayor. You couldn't vote for the mailman in town. But yet, hey Steve, I know I can't vote for you, but good luck on your election. I'm going to go talk to the Supreme Court now and try to overturn alcohol real quick.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's horrible. My last one's funny and stupid, and it bothers me that it either took this long or it happened this long ago. I'm not sure which one. February 17th, so today, President's Day. Well, maybe not President's Day that day, but President's Day today. In
Yeah, we'll get there.
in
Let's skip ahead.
1876, somebody named Julius Wolfe in Eastport, Maine, decided to sell canned sardines for the first time. Canned sardines became a manufacturer of Eastport, Maine in 1876. Why I found that interesting? Because I've tried sardines once in my entire life. It was at Costco. I thought they were fucking amazing. So I ate like 4 of them. I love fish. I thought the sardines were so good. And Pickle looks at me and he goes, I love sardines too. He goes, now go wash your hands. And he goes, your hands are going to smell for 4 fucking days. Dude, I could not get that fish smell off my hands for days. It reminds me of another fish story. It was the fish incident of Florida with me. We rent a beach house to stay, fish, hang out with family. I don't know if I'm above the age to drink alcohol. I think I am. I think I'm over 21. I'm not sure. I was anywhere between like 18 and 22.
That's what he told Florida law enforcement when they asked.
I'm anywhere between the age of 18 and 22 at the time. So we go in this fridge to put some bait that we bought to fish with. And I find in the freezer a frozen fish. Just chilling in the freezer. Just like thrown in there. Nothing on it. So my dumbass, this was 15 minutes into us getting into this house. I grab it. I take it. I look at it. Fuck with it. Whatever. And then I just toss it out. Right? Didn't wash my hands. Touched every doorknob in the fucking house to look at the house. I got that fish smell everywhere in that house. And Ryan, I know Ryan listens to these, so does Pickle. They can vouch for this. I smelled that house just full of fish, dude. Like 15, 20 minutes with us being into that house, I found that fish and touched every fucking doorknob in the entire house.
You would have been voted off of the island.
Yes, if we were playing Survivor, I was the first eliminated for sure. For sure. But yeah, I don't know why the sardine being canned for the first time bothers me. If it took that long, yeah, it bothers me that it took till 1876 to can fish, honestly.
But
why sardines?
Well, because they're small.
Yeah, but why is that so why is that so prominent that it was on this week in history page? Like, I mean, I know tons of people eat sardines all the time, but I don't know. It's just weird.
I wonder when canning like food for production, not just like canning in your garden or whatever. But I wonder when like canning for production really went into popularity.
Well, I mean, people have been canning like on their property forever.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but production, I don't know.
I don't believe it's probably that far before.
I feel like the first thing that would have been canned besides raw meat would have been vegetables in mass production. But I'm not sure.
My guess is going to be beans.
I was thinking green beans.
Yeah, I think beans probably were the first thing that was like really canned in bulk for like mass production.
Probably.
Or corn.
Oh, corn. Corn would be a good one. The first canned food was corned beef.
No, boo. I'd be in the first half, not going to lie.
1810. So it took them another 70 or 66 years to can sardines. So that makes sense. Because you're thinking you're just going to can beef and vegetables forever.
I'll allow it.
Leave it out to somebody in Maine. The
happen.
redneck of the north up there. Dude, I have a buddy that's from Maine, right? And how he told me he lived as a child, you would think he grew up in freaking West Virginia, Appalachia. Like off the grid, no electricity, like candles, like, canning their own stuff, hunting. Maine is the south of the north. Bunch of rednecks up there.
Oh, my.
In my opinion. But that is this week's in history. Today, Rick, a couple things that we want to talk about. Small little tidbits. Don't have a really big main topic. Our main one revolves around today, which is President's Day.
Yeah.
Nationally recognized federal holiday. Banks are closed. Mail doesn't run.
Yeah.
You
I
didn't
still had
get
to
you
work.
didn't get off, even though you work for
Work for the government. Yeah.
work for the government. I didn't get off because it's not a holiday. What bothers you about February 17th, 2025, Rick?
I'm glad you asked. So, and I think I may have even brought it up before, but like maybe in like a very minor comment here or there. But I really dislike holidays that change their date. It's just dumb. Like it's stupid. Why are we still doing this? Like you have 365 dates to choose from on a normal calendar,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not talking about leap years and all that stuff. But you have 365 options. There's no reason to still need to be like the third Monday in February
But
is when we'll
that's
celebrate
a
this.
specific day.
No, no,
Every
no,
third
no.
Monday in February
No,
is President's Day.
nope. I'm talking. Count them out, 1 through 365, and pick one. This is how numbers work. This is a number line.
Numbers work the same way. First Monday, second Monday, third Monday, fourth Monday.
Nope.
Thanksgiving's always on a Thursday. You hate Thanksgiving?
Yep. I hate that it is associated with the last Thursday in November.
So the one that bothers me the most, because I agree with you, the Thanksgiving Day doesn't bother me. It's just I know it's the last Thursday of November. Easter bothers me the most because it can change in between months.
Yeah, it changes drastically, which also changes Mardi Gras for our friends down in the deep south.
Yeah, because
You're changing up our party schedule. Like, come on.
And because it can be, can't Easter be all the way from April to May? It can be in March too, can it?
Yeah, I don't. I think it can be. It's just because I don't remember exactly. It's ridiculous. It should just have a date.
So
there's
here you
no
go.
real reason for it.
On the Gregorian calendar, this is
Mhm.
what we use for anybody that didn't know.
Good old
Easter can fall on any Sunday between March 22nd and April 25th. So it can be
I
anywhere
was trying to
between
figure out
March
if
and
it could be in
April.
May.
March and April. So this holiday, now we're going down the rabbit hole of Easter. Easter is always the first Sunday after the full moon that occurs on or after the vernal equinox.
Stupidest way to pick a holiday ever.
If the full moon falls on a Sunday, though, Easter is that next Sunday. So that full moon at the vernal equinox could fall on a Saturday, and Easter's the next day. A full moon falls on that Sunday, you got to wait a whole nother week for Easter.
Stupid.
The date of Easter is based on the golden number, which shows the dates of new moons for each year. Early Christians always wanted to consider Easter coincided with Passover from the Jewish calendar, and Passover is based on the solar and lunar cycles, so it changes each year. This year, Easter is on maybe the least Christian day out of all of them. It's on 4/20, which is National Pot Smoking Day and Adolf Hitler's birthday. Happy Easter, everyone. We'll probably bring up why Easter's dumb with the dates, which it makes sense. If you do like the religious Jewish or Catholicism thing, I get it. But then you also got to think like they don't really believe in like the astrological signs and stuff, but then you're going to base your main holiday off of a lunar full moon after each vernal equinox.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't think they really are associated with like the astrological like
They're
Aries,
not, but
Pisces thing.
they're not, but I'm gonna say they are. I'm a Pisces, represent my fishes. Maybe that's why I like sardines so much.
We cracked the code.
I guess fishes also isn't a word. My fish.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
My fish
Plural
eyes.
of fish is fish or fishes.
There you go.
We'll have our wonderful guest Dalton, who's a marine biologist, come on the show and explain. Um,
For all of you that don't know, marine biologist that counts corn. But we'll get into that next time he's on.
it'd be even better if he
What
canned the
other what
corn.
other holidays change? Those are the 3 days that always change. I guess Martin Luther King Day always changes. Or is it always on the 16th or 17th of January, no matter what? I always thought it was on a Monday. Or did we just always get
It
a
is.
Monday off
It,
in school?
no, I think it is always on a Monday.
But that date changes. So Martin Luther
Yep.
King date changes.
President's Day, Easter, Thanksgiving, Labor Day,
Labor Day is always the first weekend in September.
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day is always the last weekend in May.
Yeah.
So most of our holidays change dates.
You know what's a good holiday? 4th of July. You
St.
know why it's a
Patty's
good
Day, St. Patty's Day, March
Yep, St. Patty's
17th, baby. You
St. Patty's
always
Day
know.
is exactly 1 month before my birthday, so I love it.
It is always the weekend after mine. So I also thoroughly enjoy it.
Not always the weekend. See, it's not one of those
Yeah,
dumb
that's
holidays. It
true.
can be during the week.
But that's when we celebrate it. It's always on the weekend. New
Exactly.
Year's Day is always on New Year's Day. It changes days, but not dates.
Exactly, though. I'm fine with
It's
that. You
always
say
January 1st. New Year's
it
Eve is
is.
always the last day in September. Christmas is
Yes.
always the 25th. My birthday is always the 9th. Important days are always the same. July 4th, best holiday in America, though.
Yeah, it doesn't switch its dates. It even
No?
says the date right in it. You don't
Yeah.
even have to question what day it
No.
is.
What day is Independence Day? What day? What day you celebrating July 4th this year? The fucking 3rd? No, the 4th. All right.
Well, depends on what day it falls on.
I
But
get the third, the fourth's on a Friday this year. I get the third off too.
oh
I get
yeah,
the
I
third
know.
and the fourth. I'm taking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
My buddy, my coworker who I work with, who that's what that means. Yep, Rick, good job. He has a ton of vacation time, and so he's taking off the Thursday. It's off the Friday, and is then taking the whole following week off to go down to the lake.
That's a man right there. But yeah, those are dumb. Also, I don't know why this coexists with each other, but I want to talk about it. It's my last little bit about President's Day before I change to our other like two topics that I bring to the table today as I pour my beer. I'm getting really good at pouring beer out of one of these things. For everybody that doesn't know, just a big old 32-ounce Arctic Yeti thing. Why is President's Day associated with furniture sales? You always see huge, like, oh, come see our President's Day sale. 90% off all couches. Like, does the furniture industry base their next year's arrivals off of President's Day?
It really might be something like that, where like kind of like the end of the year, like the fall.
Yeah.
You get all the new car
Yeah, like
models.
all the new cars come out like mid-November or something. So we're
Yeah,
in 2025. So the 26 cars will come out in like mid-November or something for the next year. It's really weird. Never thought of that, but I mean, I was waiting until President's Day. We're gonna buy a couch for the living room downstairs, and I was like, let's wait for President's Day for the sales, please. So there's that. We talked about. Well, this will be the last thing I talked about. I lied. Rick's wearing a sports jersey from the Eagles. I guessed it off of not the Eagles logo or the number. Guessed it off the Reebok symbol alone. First try. What Rick was wearing. Donovan McNabb jersey. Very good throwback jersey. I am wearing my currently brand new AC Milan jersey from the 2024-25 season. I want to throw it out there. Just a quick fire question. First thing that comes into your mind of something you do not own, jersey you don't currently have. What is like your go-to jersey that you want to own in your repertoire?
the jersey I wanna own.
That you don't have. It doesn't have to be your favorite team because I mean, you know me, I love collecting jerseys that are not my team. I mean, I do not cheer for. I cheer for AC Milan a little bit just because Christian Pulisic plays there, but like, I'm a United fan through and through. They play each other. Fuck this jersey. I'll burn this jersey. You know.
um, I think I think I would have to go with a Kobe Bryant number 24 jersey.
Number 24, you wouldn't go 8? I think I would go
No,
8 if I picked Kobe Bryant.
nope. I think 100%.
Would
I
you
would go
go gold,
24.
purple, or the nice little blues when they were the Los Angeles Kings?
Yeah, no. I would go with the gold as the dominant color.
Right. Yeah. So I have two that I'm like super undecided about. My number one would be getting the green Hartford Whalers jersey for the Hurricanes. I love the Whalers look that it does. I think I want to get one of those. But if it's like more of like I have to pick a player because I can name you right now probably 5 at max current hockey players, and that's just because I watched hockey the other night. And Sidney Crosby is one of those players. Um, the other one that I would love to get would be a I don't know why I don't have one of these, but I gotta find one. Is I want my favorite football team is the Colts or by other. I want to get a Pat McAfee jersey so bad. Like just I don't care if it's I'd rather it be the blue than the white. But I really like the October support the troops like gray with the green camo
Hmm.
numbers. That's what I really
Yep.
want as a Pat McAfee jersey. Or then Rick and I were looking online. A Vince Papale jersey, a Kelly Green Vince Papale jersey would be cool as crap to get.
Would be sick. It would be
It
sick.
would be great. But
I
that's
try to think of a jersey that I don't own and that I would really like of like just a random thing. I actually don't own any NBA jerseys.
I don't either. I would if I had to get an NBA jersey. So I support the Mavs, but not anymore at all ever again ever again. After just the stupidity that they brought to the table,
Nico
I
Harrison.
I would probably if I had to if somebody was like, "Hey, I'll give you one free NBA jersey right now," I'd probably get Luka's 77 in Lakers gold, dude. That looks so
Wow.
sick. It looks
Wow.
it looks so sick. I wouldn't get it because I mean I want to see Luka do well, right? I wanted to see him do well as a Matt. Well, I mean, which he did. He took us to a final, but like just just his jersey in a lake like his number in a Lakers jersey looks awesome. It looks so cool.
It does.
It
It
it,
does.
it looks really cool. So that'd probably be a go-to gift. So I have two more little topics. I have a Visa gift card that I got for Christmas, $50 that I haven't spent. I th- I know what I need to spend it on,
But
and
instead, we're gonna let the fans decide.
yeah, sure, 100% that's where we're going. I need to get a couple outdoor chairs and fill my propane tank up for my gas fireplace outside, my gas fire pit. That won't cost a lot. That'll cost like $12 to fill up propane. That's whatever. But I do need to get some more chairs. I only have literally my chair and Amy's chair out there right now. But I really want to spend it on a new microphone at Best Buy or like a sound bar or something. Like just something cool. I want to do I think another microphone, like a more portable one that we can like hold in that I can hold in my hand. So like if we have like Austin wants to be a guest on our show, right? But like he's like, I want to do it like in person with you. And I'm like, well, I only have the one microphone that I'm talking into now. But if I could get like another one that like he can sit on the couch and hold, and I can be right on the couch here with this one, I think that'd be really cool. But
Yeah.
so fans aside, all I was gonna say on our Instagram, I'll throw up a poll on our Instagram: responsible or fun, and just want you to vote.
Yep.
I'll put the poll up
We're
after
gonna
this podcast posts. That way you understand what we're talking about, and then we'll go from there. And then going
we're gonna
into
hold him accountable. He's gonna have to show us what he buys.
oh, don't worry, I will. Either way.
I
Last
want him to
thing,
hold up the chair and the propane tank on camera.
yeah,
I want him to hold up the
but
new microphone.
but going into our lovely top five, which is what I get to guess. I going in the caveat of I've been super great on writing what each top five was and who guessed what and the right answers and the score. I lost that book. because I cleaned this entire room looking like a complete nerd. I took my computer completely apart, was cleaning it. I sent Rick a Snapchat of it. I looked like Ryan FaceTimed me and literally just goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because I'm literally, I'll show everybody. I think I got my computer cleaning kit right here on me. So for everybody watching, I was shirtless with this strapped around my head and just a light blaring down into my computer while I was vacuuming out and cleaning my fans on my computer. And but I was cleaning the whole room and I lost the book. I had to listen to last week's podcast, which is a great podcast, by the way. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. It's about our lives and Rick's cruise that he's going on with his wife and his parents, and then mine and my wife's and my friend's half marathon and our time with Disney. I had to listen to that episode. I was only going to find the spot, but I ended up listening to the whole episode just to see how we talk and sound and how we can better, because we always want to better ourselves for the fans and our listeners. But the score before last week was Brandon 16 out of 20, Rick 9 out of 15. Rick guessed the top 5 leading passers, or he guessed 2 through 6, because Tom Brady's a dead giveaway because he played for 95 years and 900 football games.
Yeah,
Passers.
You robbed me.
I robbed Rick of 1 point. So Rick has 12 out of 20. And with this 12, I'll right beside it 13 and put an asterisk because he wants that 1 point. So that's the top 5. And now I have a new sheet that I'm going to keep the top 5 and the quotes of the week on. So, Rick, what top 5 is Brandon guessing today?
Okay. Listen carefully.
Carefully, got it.
Yep. Good job. You're already doing great. So I need you to guess the top 5 longest tenured active Premier League players. So who has the longest tenure with their Premier League club that is an active
Number 1 is
player?
Jamie Vardy for Leicester City.
Jamie Vardy is number 3.
Oh, all right. Let me write it down. I knew he was on that list immediately. He's number 3, you said?
Yep.
All right.
I'm not going to do it now, but at the end, I'm going to go through how long each of these players has played with their club.
See, there's 3 teams at the bottom that I don't really know those teams well, so I don't know if they're like
They have some 25-year vet.
Yeah. Let me see. I know who else is up there that's up in the top. So Vardy, damn, I thought Vardy was going to be the longest. Vardy played for Leicester when Leicester won their the Premier League back in like 2016 or whatever. So he's been there a long time. You remember Christian Fuchs or whatever that ended up signing for Charlotte FC when they became a team like 4 years ago or whatever?
No idea, man. I'm just waiting for your next pick. You're trying to distract me. I'm going to take back the throne of the most.
That's
I need to see your eyes, sir.
No, I'm literally writing players down and going, no, they haven't been there that long. What about Kevin De Bruyne?
That's strike 1.
Damn it, dude. He's been at fucking...
So, for all the listeners, I told him before this happened, I was like, this sounds like a tough challenge. I was like, but I was really worried Brandon was just going to nail it off the top of it.
It is tough. I don't know if this guy's active right now.
So got 2 strikes, dude.
I know.
You can swing a wild one. So you need 1, 2, 4, and 5.
I know what I need. I'm trying to think if this guy's active because he's like the longest serving Premier League player ever. What about him? Because he's hurt, but he still counts because he's on the team.
I say if he's on the roster, I counted it. That's
Okay.
It's not like that type situation. Like not if he played last week or not.
Does Seamus Coleman still play for Everton?
Yes, he
He's
does.
number one, right? Yeah,
Number
yeah,
one.
okay.
Yes.
He's been with them for like 17 years or something. I watched Everton play this weekend, so that's why I know him. um,
You know what's also great? It really just shows like a little bit about how you age through professional sports. I believe I'd have to go double check to be 100% sure, but I believe all but one on this list are defenders.
Jamie Vardy's not a defender.
I know,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure everyone else is. That's kind
Uh,
of a hint right there, just so we all know. Here, I'm trying to help him out.
no, that's. I mean, I help you out a good
I
amount.
know. That's why I threw the
What
bone.
about Joel Ward for Crystal Palace?
Joel Ward is 4. Now, I'm going
Fuck.
to give you this tidbit without giving you any exact timelines. The fun part about this, Joel Ward, from my source that I did not triple check, but I believe is accurate, Joel Ward and Jamie Vardy have played for the exact same amount of time for their respective clubs, but Jamie Vardy has played more games. He's appeared in more games, so I gave him the tie break to be third.
That I mean, yeah, Joel Ward's been around there a long time. Let's see. Bruno Fernandez has been with us for only like 9 years. Sterling's
He's
been
not even
around.
your longest. He's not even your longest active player.
I know it's Johnny Evans.
No, it's not.
Who is it then? It
Ooh.
100% is Johnny Evans.
Okay.
If you're thinking of whatever his name is, Phil, whatever, he retired. Johnny Evans is 100% our longest tenured. Well, I mean, he didn't play with us for a little bit, so that makes sense, though. Johnny
Ooh,
Evans
there
is
you
our
go.
oldest player. Johnny Evans is
Yes,
our oldest player.
yes, that's not
Our longest tenured player is Luke Shaw.
Yes, he is. Who's number 6 on this list, by the
Yeah,
way?
he's not my guess.
No points awarded. No
No, no, no.
points awarded.
He's
That
not
is
my guess, but
I just because it was number 6 and it was your club, I decided to throw an honorable mention out there
okay, I like
and let
that. Luke
everyone know.
Shaw, get this. Luke Shaw came to United like 4 or 5 years before Bruno. And 2 Premier League games ago, Bruno tied him in Premier League appearances because that's how healthy Luke Shaw is. What about? I have 3, so I'm doing better than I thought. What?
And you still got 2 strikes, dude.
Oh man. No, because Luke Shaw's been with us since 2015, and he's 6th. So it's got to be older people. Ward, Jamie Vardy, Seamus Coleman are the only people I know that are fucking old. I say old, and they're like 36 years old. But Luke Shaw's younger than me.
So basically, kids, they're all younger than you, but
Jamie Vardy's not younger than me.
whatever you say, Papa.
Okay, my last. What about for Brighton has an old ass player. What is his last name? I know his first name is Lewis. This is going to be a guess. I'm just talking myself through it. I want to say his last name is either Dirk or Dunk, but I can't remember which one. I'll get back to it.
Penalize any misspelling.
This is bullshit. I'll get back to Lewis D. Who else has played forever? Odegaard's young. I'm about to go through 20 teams here, guys. I'm so sorry. Saka's young. It's gonna be somebody from like fucking Ipswich or Bournemouth or just somebody I don't know. I'm going with Lewis D. Dunk. I'm going with Dunk.
Lewis Dunk is second on the list with Brighton FC.
I watch a lot of soccer, everyone. Like random games. I woke up at 8:00 7:30 the other day to watch fucking Watford play Liverpool.
So you can cheer on Watford.
Yeah, they almost won too. It was great, but they didn't, so it was bad. Dude, the last one, it fucked me up with Jamie Vardy being 3. I thought,
doesn't it? That's like when I guessed that war movie in Saving Private Ryan, and it was third on the list.
Yeah, Vardy being 3 fucked me up because I know Vardy's old as shit. Son's young. Saka's the longest tenured player on Arsenal for only like 6 years. Rashford's been in the Premier League a long time. Has Rashford been in the Premier League longer than Luke Shaw? So is this, to clarify, is this like a team thing?
How long they've been with their club.
Okay. So it's not Rashford.
Longest tenured at the club.
Okay.
So not like a old veteran that's bounced around.
That's just bounced around Premier League teams.
Yeah, that's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for loyalty.
And they currently play. They're active players.
I did check and make sure every single one of these guys are on an active roster.
All right.
Like I didn't look into injury list, but I don't care about that.
No, I don't either. I'm just gonna take my L and get 4 out of 5 and go ahead and write 20 and 25 down.
You got 2 guesses still.
I know I have 2 guesses.
But at least throw out a wild one. Wow.
Oh, what's that guy's name? No, he hasn't played long enough. Fuck him.
He probably plays for Man City or Liverpool. The reaction.
He plays. He plays for Ashton Villa, actually. But I just said. No, I have another guess with Man City, but I don't want them. I mean, I'd want them to disappoint me. I don't want them to disappoint me twice. They already disappoint me every second they play. Oh, he's been with because he played for Southampton. Damn it. I was about to say Virgil van Dijk's been with Liverpool a long time, but he played at Southampton, so he hasn't been at Liverpool that long. He's only been at Liverpool like 6 years. Oh my God. He's probably not a star player. They move around for money most of the time. That guy's retired. Trying to think of another active player. God, Luke Shaw's the 6th most active Premier League player. Fuck, dude. For one team, at least.
Loyalty.
Loyalty plays a huge part.
Yeah, I mean, freaking Coleman has been with Everton a long time.
Okay, that guy's retired. He retired 2 years ago. He would have been on the list. He would have actually been number 3.
I'd be searching players.
I'm not. My hands are right here. I'm thinking of like Bowman was with West Ham United a long time, but he retired 2 years ago. He would have been number 3. He would have been like 13 years at West Ham. So I'll let Man City either win me this 5 for 5 or let me down. What about Rodri? No. Yeah, I knew that wasn't a fucking bullshit guess. Who's the longest serving player on Man City? Did you look?
No.
Okay. Got it. So there's
He
another
wasn't
hint.
in the top 6.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the top 6.
There's another hint for me right there. Who?
Yep.
Dude, I don't know. He's gonna play for some bullshit. Fucking.
It's Premier League.
Yeah.
It's Premier League.
Yeah, but Ipswich Town is playing in the Premier League right now. What about he's been with Tottenham for at least 10 years, so I'm gonna guess him. Because Jamie Vardy's been with them for 11. Luke Shaw's been with us for 10 though. Has this guy been at Tottenham longer than Luke Shaw has been at Man United is my question.
I mean that logically would put
that would be correct.
Yeah.
Is it Ben Davies?
No.
Fuck, dude.
Adam Smith at Bournemouth.
Dude, I said it was going to be some bullshit at I said their name. What'd you say it was? Adam Smith?
Adam Smith. Okay, so you ready to hear about the loyalty and longevity of these guys?
Seamus Coleman's been with Everton for 16 years.
16 years, 3 months at Everton.
Okay.
Lewis Dunk, 14 years, 9 months at Brighton. Now, like I said, according to my source, Jamie Vardy and Joel Ward were signed or became active the same day, 12 years, 7 months, and a few days. Let's call it 10 days or 12 days or something like that.
That's so cool.
But Jamie Vardy, now this is what's crazy. So the exact same length of time. Jamie Vardy with 467 games played in those almost 13 years. Joel Ward with 362, so more than 100 games difference. And then Adam Smith with 11 years this month with Bournemouth. And then Luke Shaw, 10 years, 7 months at Manchester United. This is the top 6 and how long they play.
I'm about to look up how long Ben Davies has played at Tottenham. Ben Davies has got to be right there. What did you say Shaw was?
10 years, 7 months.
Dude, fuck Ben Davies, dude. He is 10 years, 6 months, 18 days. Fuck him, dude. Okay, I wanna fact check your Joel Ward pick. Not fact check it that it's wrong.
But if they're the exact same day?
No. I want to see if they... So, Vardy's played... Okay, no. So... How long ago did you say Ward and Vardy were? 12 years?
12 years, 7 months.
So that would be what?
Over 12 and a half years.
12 years
That would
is...
be 2022 summer.
No, 2012.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry. 2012
summer.
July.
Okay. So he played 1 year... Well, no, that doesn't matter because you're not doing Premier League starts. You're just doing longevity with current Premier League things. I was about to say, I wonder if Crystal Palace was relegated, and that's why some of his games don't count, but that doesn't matter because you're just talking about current Premier League teams' longevity within their teams.
Yep.
Okay. I went 4 or 5.
Nice job. 4 for 5, man. Very nice.
That's hard. I don't even know who Adam Smith is.
Super generic name. I don't know.
I know the rest of those. I was very confused on if Lewis's last name was Dunk or Dirk. So.
No, I tried giving you most of them are defenders, except one that you already got off the board.
Oh,
I gave you Luke Shaw to give you a timeline. I was
Man,
trying.
Man
You still did
City.
really well,
I want to
but
see who Man
also,
City's longest player is.
if you'd have come straight out the gate and been like, "It's these five," I wouldn't have even been surprised.
Man City's longest reigning player. So I got the first guess right. Their longest player is Kevin De Bruyne, but he's only at 9 years.
Lightweight.
The guy that's eighth is from Newcastle. His name is Jamal Leskellis. He's literally 1 month behind Ben Davies at Tottenham. Do not even know who that guy is. And I have watched many a Newcastle games this year.
To be honest, I know exactly who one of these people were on my list.
Is it Jamie Vardy?
I heard of Vardy, and you know why? Because he's a forward.
dude. Jamie Vardy is the fucking man. So he comes on. He pretty much subs for Leicester now, right? Where, by the way, that's the top five. Score is 20 out of 25 for Brandon. Rick is 12 out of 20. He'll be able to get up to 17 next week, which would be good. You only get within 3. We're jumping in the sports because I'm about to throw some Premier League knowledge on everybody. That's so fun. So Jamie Vardy, he pretty much comes off the bench now, right? Especially with Ruud van Nistelrooy coming in as their coach, former Man United guy. He's been doing really bad with them. He did really great with us. He won all 4 games that he played with, or that he coached for us. But he's just struggling with Leicester. Leicester's not playing well this season. But Vardy usually comes off the bench. Vardy's old. Premier League soccer's changed. Playing from the back, running more, blah, 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 as forwards and stuff. It's not more just sit there, wait for the ball. Vardy scores a game winner in like the 80th minute versus Tottenham, right? Everybody knows in the Premier League, Tottenham's trash. And by trash, I mean they just beat us this week, but we won't talk about that. Tottenham's trash because they have not won a trophy. They have not won a big trophy in European or domestic league play ever. Whatever year Tottenham started, that's when they stopped winning trophies. All right? Jamie Vardy runs over. I think they were playing in Leicester. He runs over to Tottenham's fan section and does this, shushes them, points at the Barclays Premier League badge, and just holds his finger up 1 and then to himself and then points at them and just holds up a 0 and walks away. It was, dude, Vardy's pregame ritual is go out to the field, stretch, go back inside, down 2 Red Bulls, get ready for the game. That man is a fucking beast.
That is beautiful.
I take everything back about what I said about soccer jerseys. I would get a Jamie Vardy jersey in a fucking heartbeat. And wear that thing. I know Leicester's another Premier League team. I would wear that fucking thing with pride, dude. Jamie Vardy is the fucking man.
Oh, I love that.
So you talk about your highs of sports before I talk about everything else that's happened.
Okay, yeah. So basically, my year's peaked. I was talking to my friend group, to my coworkers. Ohio State winning a national championship and the Eagles winning a Super Bowl. First of all, statistically, just impossible because the Eagles only have 2 Super Bowls.
all within your lifetime.
Oh yeah. They only have 1 appearance in the Super Bowl before I was watching football.
And that was with the man you're wearing.
No, I watched this Super Bowl. They had 1 before.
Oh, you're saying they have 1 appearance that you don't remember. Okay.
Yes. But no, I watched this Super
I think
Bowl.
It was Super Bowl. I think it was Super Bowl 7 versus the Raiders. If somebody wants to fact check me on that, I know they played the Raiders.
Yeah, it's something super long time.
I'm looking. But keep going.
Checking yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having both teams, it's amazing, honestly. And Ohio State's basketball's not doing very bad either, which is nice because we're not a basketball school, but I love basketball. So this is a fantastic sports year already. This it really is. Um, I'm excited and then a little bit remorse because I think Eagles are going to lose Brandon Graham. I think he's going to retire, which he should. He has a phenomenal career. He was with us for both Super Bowl wins we have. Um, just amazing. But I do think there's going to be some talent on our roster that retires.
I was 8 years
this
off.
season.
It was Super Bowl 15.
Dang, that's still
I was close. The fact that I said 7 and it was 15 is pretty damn good.
Yeah. Out of 59, that's pretty close. But yeah, I know we're gonna have some people retire. I don't think we should really be having any cap issues where we're not gonna re-sign people where money's the issue. So that's good. Um, and then Ohio State, I think we're gonna be primed to make another deep run. I mean, it's really hard to win a national championship in college, especially with NIL and transfer portal now. But I do think we're gonna have enough talent. We can at least make another really good season next year. But those are really the only two sports where I have like a very dedicated team. Like I just follow players in NBA. I don't really closely watch other stuff.
I was talking about this, I think, with our buddy Edward. Who do you cheer for in basketball? If you had to choose a team, is it the 76ers?
No.
Is it the Lakers?
No. If I had to pick a team, that would be pretty tough. There's more like teams I don't care for their culture or their fan base.
Then throw that out there, and why is it the Boston Celtics?
Yeah, I don't like the Celtics. I don't like the Celtics. And I have several close friends that are Celtics fans, and maybe that's why. But I don't like the Celtics. And there's some other organizations that I just think they're ran poorly. But
and why is it the Hornets?
They're run terribly, but so are the Magic.
Yeah. Shout out to Michael Jordan. Happy birthday, by the way. Just in case you're listening.
Shout out MJ. But yeah, I mean, I like to see the Lakers do well, but I'm not going to call myself a Lakers fan. I will just genuinely say I like to see certain players do well. Like when Giannis won his championship, super happy for him. I love watching Jokic play. I like watching Luka play, LeBron play. I'm excited about Wemby, Victor Wembanyama, and that kind of rolls into another sports thing I have. But the fact they have De'Aaron Fox now too, I think is really exciting for the Spurs.
And then my last question with sports before we go to your second thing is, what if you had to pick a baseball team? I mean, would you just take the Philadelphia Phillies?
Yeah, probably because of how little I follow baseball at all.
Yeah.
I like Bryce Harper.
Love Bryce Harper, dude. I hated him when I was in high school because he's the same age as me, maybe like a year or so older. But like
he's still playing. That's incredible.
But like I was playing in high school, dude. I failed like 100 times. But he was like, as kids, like you compare, clearly in high school, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go play college, or I want to play college, and then like, I don't know how news travels like this, but you're like, you heard of this Bryce Harper kid that plays high school baseball in Las Vegas? That said he's the next best thing in baseball, and we're like, fuck that kid, dude, F him, and then we go and play like Madison Bumgarner's team, and then you're like, oh, this is why he's going to the pros and you're going to normal college and going to go play club dodgeball instead. Like, yeah, so I was exactly right on these guesses. Eddie asked me, besides Philadelphia and Ohio State, who Rick cheers for, and I go, basketball, he cheers for people, and I was like, if he has to choose baseball, he'll probably just choose the Phillies. So I was spot on. Yeah. What's your second thing about the All-Star game?
Chris Paul and Wemby getting DQ'd in the skills challenge is hilarious.
So I watched them play. I watched their skills challenge. I didn't watch the whole skills challenge, but I watched the video of them doing it. It defines Chris Paul's career of just trying 100%. To exploit the rules any way he can.
Yep.
But I'm gonna throw on the hype train of I don't think they should have been disqualified. All you got to do is get rid of the 3 balls.
Yep.
And the attempts were towards the basket. If they would have hit I look at it this way. I bet if they hit the backboard with all 6 of their throws, or the 3 on the side, and then the other ones just go over the hoop or whatever, they don't disqualify them because it looks more like a shot attempt. Chris Paul literally threw a ball to one of the kids getting rebounds.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's hilarious.
I thought it was
not
great,
even just about his career, not even about his career, but like Chris Paul's mentality is like, so this is how we win. Like this is what this
let
is.
me win.
He said there's no points or benefit to making those shots.
Yeah, it's just we have
Then
to. The
why
only
are we
points that
taking
matter are the chest pass, the layup, and the 3 bounce passes. It's like if we make those
getting it done in time.
Yeah, they did it in 47 seconds. Like
they shouldn't have been DQ'd, in my opinion. I think he saw an exploit, and you can't penalize the exploit.
Yeah,
like just because someone used it. You need to decide that for next All-Star break.
The NBA disqualified them because they know that they have the second worst All-Star game in the major sports.
Arguably first.
Pro Bowl being flag football is pretty fucking bad, dude.
I think, actually, all honesty, I like the move to flag football compared to what it was in pads.
That's true. Because it was like the NBA.
Years.
It was the only person that you ever saw play hard in the Pro Bowl was when Sean Taylor destroyed that one man when he was playing DB. Have you seen that video? He come out like he is playing in the wild card round of the playoffs, destroys a guy.
And even when Sean Taylor was playing, the Pro Bowl was still more competitive.
Yes.
It got so bad there the last few years.
Don't play it
glad they switched it.
Don't play it in Miami. Take the dudes to fucking Hawaii. Celebrate the fact that like people are denying it now. You know that it's bad. Like Drake May, who might end up being good for the Patriots or whatever. Because he shows promise. He made the fucking Pro Bowl. He is not a Pro Bowl player. Let the AFC have the lineup of Joe Burrow, who led in passings and touchdowns, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Then let's play some flag football. Don't deny it. But yeah, I take it back. I think the NBA is worse. They have the worst format.
The All-Star game got
Matt McClung is the only thing worth celebrating. He had a great dunk contest. So much that Levine, Aaron Gordon, and John Morant tweeted out that they're probably joining the dunk contest next year. Which, if you have those 3 people, one, I'm not taking anything away from McClung, but he'll come back and play for his 4th in a row because he's won 3 of them in a row. He's going to finish last versus those guys. But it's awesome.
He'll finish last.
But it's awesome to see that competitiveness back into at least probably, in my opinion, was the best part of All-Star Weekend any weekend during any format that they did in the NBA. Whether when the All-Star game was competitive or the three-point shootout's cool to see. But watching like Jason Richardson go up there or like Nate Robinson dunking over Dwight Howard doing his Superman dunk, like Vince Carter sticking his entire arm in the rim, you can't beat the dunk contest. The dunk contest, if it can come back, I think the rest of the All-Star game weekend could go up.
I also think they need to bring back, like, especially if they're still in the downturn of like players not really wanting to compete and stuff, they need to bring back where like they let other athletes come in and do stuff. So like there was a point where I remember seeing a clip where they brought in NFL players to do the dunk contest.
Yeah.
And that was sick.
The shittiest thing, I don't like to shit on this man because he is arguably the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time, is LeBron saying that he's playing all week and then an hour before the game says, I'm not even dressing for the All-Star game because he snubbed an All-Star spot away from somebody else that deserved it and would have played. He is stat padding even in the All-Star game.
Okay, but
what?
Yes.
If you're quote unquote hurt, Have somebody else that can play that is all-star worthy, because there were some all-star snubs out there that didn't get it, right?
There were, but most of them were in the Eastern Conference, I would say.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter right now. In this format, it didn't matter. There were OGs, blah, 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 whatever, international, rising stars, whatever. The all-star game East and West hasn't been a thing in like 4 or 5 years. It's always been a draft.
I just forget about the selection process. I don't know how many. I haven't looked into the selection process in a while, which shows how much I care about the All-Star weekend.
LeBron snubbing somebody from getting an all-star selection is kind of crap. The OG thing, I get. Like, yeah, he's one of the, he's the oldest guy in the league. So I get it. But, like, the fact that you're not dressing out, just say you want to be the coach, kick Shaq out, and have somebody else be the damn coach. Let Shaq and Chuck coach together, because that would have been the most hilarious thing in the entire world.
But my thing is, I think he deserves to have that, however many time All-Star thing.
Sure. And yeah, no, I mean, he deserved to be an All-Star, yes. Like his stats are crazy, one of the best in the league still. But take the vote, be like, hey, I appreciate everybody voting for me, the media and the fans, to be an all-star, but I'm, what is it? Not milking, because milking's bad. I'm taking care of an injury with my ankle. Let that ninth person become that all-star. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I have to rank them, because I'm going to now, hockey's number one. And I'm going to talk about hockey.
Now it is. That's what we are.
Hockey's number one. Baseball's number two. Baseball is still very competitive all-star game. The home run derby's cool as shit, because you get to see people that are arguably not on steroids, but we all know they are because they just use legal steroids, hit home runs, and then the all-star game decides home field advantage in the World Series. So they still have a lot to play for in the all-star game. Mm-hmm. So that's number two. I think the NFL's three. And the NBA is a way low 4. But let's get into hockey about beating the fucking shit out of Canada.
Dude, that is so hype. And also the fights. So 3 fights.
Within the first 9 seconds. 9 seconds of the game, because they booed the national anthem.
Yep. And so the Americans took that super personally.
2 of them were brothers on the American team and was like, we're going to beat the fuck out of these people.
Last name? I don't know how to say it. Like Chukuk?
We're going to call them the Bash Brothers, just like the Mighty Ducks, dude. They destroyed. And then we go beat Canada 3-1 in Toronto. And that's great.
One of the fun facts I saw was going into that game, Canada had never lost to the U.S. in an international match if Sidney Crosby was on the ice.
Yeah.
Until that match.
And guess who was on the fucking ice? Sidney Crosby. Guess who didn't score? Sidney Crosby. That's right. Sit down, 51st state. Thank you. But it's cool. So, fun fact enough, Canada just beat either Finland or Sweden, and we play Canada in the finals. Finals is in Boston. So I don't agree with booing any country's national anthem, but I can tell you right now, those Boston fans are going to bring the heat when old Canada starts playing.
Oh, Lord. Probably.
It was great.
Probably, especially being Boston of all cities.
All of these kids are playing so hard, and it is in the middle of the NHL season.
They don't care.
We haven't even gotten to the All-Star game for NHL. This was just we want an in-season country and country tournament so all the teams can take a break. That's called the 4 Nations, 4 best hockey nations in the world. Sweden, Finland, Canada, America play each other for just sheer bragging rights. This has nothing to do with the NHL. Doesn't have anything to do with the Olympics. Nothing if there's a hockey World Cup equivalent. None of that. It's just straight, my country beat your country. And we beat them physically, mentally, and on the scoreboard this week. I watched that entire game. It's the one hockey game I've watched in the past 10 years. It was awesome. I'm going to talk about one more great thing of sports and then talk about a lot of sadness real quick.
Oh, Lord.
William Bryan won the second Daytona 500 in a row consecutively. Beat Jeff Gordon as the youngest person ever to win 2. They didn't have to be back to back, but youngest ever to win 2. And he did it. 1, Jeff Gordon is one of the people that works with him on his team. 2, he did it for Hendricks Motorsports, who Gordon raced his entire career with. And 3, he did it in the 24 car, which Jeff Gordon raced his entire career with. Really cool. I'm trying really hard to get back into NASCAR. I loved NASCAR when I was a kid. I tried to get in the F1. I don't get it. There's only 20 people and there's like no passing the entire time. So I'm here for boogity 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 boys. Let's go racing type of NASCAR. We thought Denny Hamlin was going to win. You want to talk about somebody that is universally not liked by the fans of NASCAR? It is Clint Boyer and Denny Hamlin. I don't even know if Clint Boyer races anymore, but I know I hated that man when I watched NASCAR. This
You
kid
watched
was
when there was still moonshine in the cars.
Yeah, this kid was in like 6th or 7th or 8th, right around there, right? Denny Hamlin coming into the last turn 3, turn 4, and all 7 cars wreck in front of him, and he just scoots by and wins the race. I think the last pileup was like a 15-car crash, and they were on the final lap, so they didn't throw a yellow. It was just a yellow or a white checkered, finish the race, whatever. Won it. I was texting Ryan, my brother, earlier. Ryan's huge in the NASCAR. He gave me some podcasts to listen. He gave me Dale Jr.'s podcast to listen to, so I'm gonna try to get back into it. Ryan I was like, who do you want to win the race? He goes, my guy crashed out early. He's not racing anymore. He goes, just if any Hendricks guy wins, I'm happy because Ryan's father-in-law has connections and works for Hendricks. And fucking 15 people getting a wreck, and the Hendricks car just is like, see y'all, and wins the race. It was awesome, dude. It was so cool. Love the Daytona 500. That should be a holiday. But
as long as it doesn't move the date.
It does.
No, it can't be a holiday then. Sorry.
It's always the second Sunday in February.
Nope, see, doesn't count. Nope, terrible.
The Super Bowl moves, and people want Super Bowl Monday to be a holiday.
When Goodell gets his act together and can finalize the season and not try to push more games on the players, then we can establish an exact date.
Yes. I want to throw it out there for everybody listening next week. If you are in a relationship, if you're going to be in one, if you are married, whatever, just go ahead and warn your significant other right now. The Super Bowl Sunday is on Valentine's Day in 2027. I already warned my wife that we will be doing nothing but celebrating football and our love during the day. But once 1 o'clock hits and the pregame shows come on, that it's Super Bowl Sunday. Fun fact.
Hey, if the Eagles are in it again, Whit's about it.
Yeah.
I've also converted Whit to being a full-time Eagles fan. It's great.
I converted my wife to watching football. She watches a good amount of football with me. She watches soccer with me now. Ever since she went to that live soccer game, she likes soccer. So she still thinks it's kind of boring to watch on TV, which a lot of people do that don't appreciate it, which I totally understand and I get. It's like NASCAR. But watches some with me. I bought her a Colts jersey with her favorite number, her name on it a couple years ago. And then she wants the Colts to do really well. But I think she's also in love with Josh Allen, and she's like, how'd my Bills do today? And I'm like, no, you can't cheer for
It's amazing because of all teams having another AFC opponent.
Having another AFC opponent, a great AFC opponent, and a cursed AFC opponent. Amy chose arguably the worst AFC team to cheer for besides the New York Jets. But also the best AFC team to cheer for because the Bills are very lovable right now with Josh Allen and everybody. But it's they just can't make it to the Super Bowl. Bills Mafia doing their stuff, whatever. But I'm gonna end up getting her a Bills jersey for her birthday or something because I know she likes.
Oh gosh!
I
don't
know.
do it. Don't.
I mean,
submit.
dude, that blue with that red looks pretty freaking sick. It's a cool jersey.
Absolutely does. Absolutely does.
So let me throw you my sadness. So we talked about Rick's favorite teams, right? He has won a national championship, which I'm not really going to get into college that much, but Rick's won 2 championships this year, national championship and a Super Bowl. his favorite baseball team wins the NL East pretty consistently, and he cheers for the Lakers. And they have LeBron James and Luka right now. We're just gonna say he cheers for Lakers, even though he cheers for players, right? So you want to hear my sports teams? So
I can't wait. Let's get the rundown real quick.
I have seen. I'm gonna throw it out there. I have seen more championships in my time being alive with sports for my favorite sports teams than Rick has for his.
Yeah.
That's very true. Colts have a Super Bowl. Astros have 1.5 World Series.
Not strike the whole 0.5.
Yeah, we have two because it counts because they said it does, and there's a pennant still hanging up. I've seen the Mavs win a basketball championship with Dirk, arguably the greatest NBA Finals run of all time. Arguably,
Fantastic run.
I was listening to people. They beat, I can't remember who they beat in the first round. I think it might have been Portland, but like Portland was really good. I don't think it was Portland though. I think it was. It was one of those teams that like you don't really know, but they were like good and scrappy.
Yeah, it's probably like Dame and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, so they beat Portland, and then they go out and then they sweep. I can't remember which team they sweep, but they either swept the Lakers or the Spurs. Lakers are coming off of a two-peat with Powell and Kobe. And then if it's the Spurs, you have Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili. They beat one of those, and then somebody said they had like a gentleman's win or something in the other, which means they won 4-1. So they swept one of those teams, won 4-1 in the others, and then they beat LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh in the finals. So they beat Kobe, Pau Gasol, Dame Lillard, LaMarcus Aldridge, Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. That's a pretty tough finals run. It's hard to say
they
that
beat
that's
an entire all-star roster.
Yeah,
like,
that's with Dirk.
Yeah, with
Dirk Nowitzki, and he came out. It was all Dwayne Wade and LeBron's fault. If they didn't make fun of the fact that he was sick in Game 3, they probably would have won those finals. But they came out, made fun of him the next day, pretending to cough in their shirts, and he drops 50 on them. Like, what are you gonna do? Anyway,
he played out of his mind.
So I've seen more. I've seen South Carolina's ladies win a couple natties. I've seen South Carolina's baseball team win 2 national championships. Right, but here's my current state. I've never seen Man United win a Premier League game since I've watched soccer. I've seen us win 3 trophies, which is great. None of them the Premier League or the Champions League, which is like we have 2 FA Cups and a Carabao Cup. Great. FA Cup is another huge trophy that everybody plays their starters in. Liverpool won't win that this year, but that's besides the fact. Plymouth. I haven't seen them win a major like our season or the Champions League. I've watched us lose in the knockout rounds of 16 and that. And we suck right now. We're 15th. We lost to a horrible Tottenham team that is 13th in the league now. They were behind us. And besides Victor Lindelof, who was 32 years old on our bench, everybody else was younger than the age of 19 on our bench. And we didn't even have our starting lineup in because everybody got hurt. I texted Rick the other day. The announcer called our bench the Manchester United kindergarten. Because that's what we were. So there's that. But we are winning in the Europa League. We're favorites to win the Europa League, which would be great. Probably won't happen because we're the favorites. And everybody got hurt. I don't know what's up with them, but the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks are not playing well. They played well versus Tennessee, and they lost that game. That was just a close game. Tennessee's great. They got absolutely, or not Tennessee, Texas, excuse me. Texas is good. We got destroyed last night or the night before by UConn by like 30. UConn's good, but I mean, there are a lot of teams up there that are better than UConn, like Texas, Tennessee, LSU, us theoretically destroyed. So Brandon's hope of a national championship's just dwindling out of his mind right now. But we'll probably turn it around and beat everybody by 50 in the NCAA women's tournament. Who knows? I got a UNCW's homecoming the other day where I got this cool visor.
That is a nice visor.
Thanks, man. Ever since I moved back to town, I'm 0-2 at homecoming games versus at UNCW. Watched them
We're
lose.
banning him soon.
Watched them lose last year on a buzzer beater. Great. Watched them lose this year by like 10. They didn't play well. Their defense, they couldn't stop a guy. Guy went 8 from 10 from 3-pointers for Elon.
Sometimes when you're hot, you're hot.
Oh, dude, he was not missing. It was cool to see because he wasn't missing. But they didn't change their offensive scheme at all the entire game. Elon also has a 7'4" tall center, so that was tough. But they didn't change the offensive scheme at all, which kind of bothered me because, like, I don't know a lot about basketball, but if something's not working, you should probably have a backup plan. It looks like we did not. And then, if you haven't noticed, I try to wear sports jerseys every time I do these podcasts. I got this lovely AC Milan jersey to help Captain America out, right? Christian Pulisic's been playing his mind out. Been playing really well for AC Milan. He's doing great in Serie A. I've seen one AC Milan game this year, and it was the one that I decided to wear a jersey to. Champions League game, immediately watch them lose. I swear, I was telling Amy this, and my buddy Paris, who is the reason that UNCW is losing and not me. I am 2-2 for homecoming games at UNCW that I've seen. I'm 0-2 since I've started going with Paris. Hopefully, when I go on the season finale game at home versus Delaware, I become positive 500. Paris is not going with me, so hopefully I get that 3-2 record.
The sad part is if they lose,
It's me.
then it's your fault.
It's me.
There's no scapegoat at that point.
But I will say I'm 0-2 as well since I started wearing a UNCW hat that I'm hanging up on my hat rack. I have not wore the visor. The visor's coming out for the final game.
It's gonna be fresh.
Yes. Fresh hat, new start, new me, right? AC Milan's been playing great all year. They're not doing hot in Serie A. I think they're like 5th or 6th. They've been playing great Champions League ball. I watched them play. Worst match of the year. Commentator even said worst match of the year AC Milan's ever played. I was like, great. Glad I could get that. But I was telling Paris and telling Amy, and anytime I wear a team jersey, they lose. Right? Sitting on a Sunday, if I'm not wearing my Colts jersey, Colts will win. Sitting on Saturday or Sunday, not wearing my Man United jersey, we play a Europa League game on Thursday. Fucking dominate. We fucking play like prime 2009 Cristiano Ronaldo, Wayne Rooney.
Sounds like you should hide your jersey.
AC Milan plays. We've seen 3 or 4 games. Wear the jersey one game. Worst match they've ever had in the history of AC Milan. I think it's my jersey problem. But you know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to break superstitious things because if I cheer a team, I want to wear their fucking jersey. Damn it. AC Milan plays this Wednesday.
You should start wearing a Man City jersey.
I would never. I would never. So,
what if you could guarantee that they would lose so much they got relegated if you wore one for one whole season?
I'd wear it
every
day.
game they
would
play.
Never take it off. I'd wear it 7 days a week. Because you know what happens when great teams get relegated? The great players fucking leave. And they would be ass. I would wear a Man City jersey every day for an entire year if I got to see them go down to the championship. No questions asked.
He just wears it under his clothes.
I'd wear it proud. I'd wear it out. Oh, you cheer for Man City? No, but they're getting relegated this year. Fuck them. I'd wear my least favorite player. I don't care.
We can prove that his jersey curse is the real deal. Brandon's gonna get a Man City one.
If the Fisters want to send me one, or the Slammers. We only have one fister. I'll wear it. I'm not buying one. I tell you that right now. But if one magically shows up at my door, I'll put it on one day they're playing, see if they lose, and if they do, I'll wear it the next week. If they lose, fuck them. I'm wearing it every day. Every day, baby.
We need to make this happen. We need to crowdsource together, team, and get him a Man City jersey.
No questions asked. And then, something I did see. Baseball. Baseball is my favorite sport besides soccer. Baseball is my second favorite sport, I guess. I'm going to go to the UNCW ECU game because that's going to be a huge game. ECU is always pretty high up there, and UNCW is pretty dang good in baseball as well. Always make it to like the super regionals and stuff. They hosted a, not preseason, but beginning of the season tournament this year, right? I think like William and Mary was there. Number 8 nationally ranked Georgia was there, and then another team. We beat Georgia. UNCW beat 8 nationally ranked Georgia by like 3 or 4 runs. It's great to see. You know why that's great to see? Because I'm a Gamecocks fan, and fuck the Georgia Bulldogs, dude.
UNCW fan.
Yes, I cheer for UNCW, but like deep in my heart, if it's like, hey, super regional, UNCW is going to play South Carolina, I'm showing up in all garnet, baby. Like, no questions asked, but
they lose.
Probably. As long as it's not a jersey, though, they might not. They might not.
This happens to be all the color.
Oh, man. But it's, dude. I mean, Dallas traded Luka. Astros traded away Alex Bregman this year. I don't even think they traded him. I think he was a free agent. We didn't re-sign him, and he went to the Boston Red Sox. I just don't know what to do as a sports fan. I was happy with
Eagles fan.
I was happy with the 06 Colts. Super happy with the 2011 Mavericks. 2017 to 2020, technically like 2015 to 2022 as an Astros fan. I was ecstatic. And now I am just in a plummet of deep depression in sports. Dude, I cannot win to save my life. What's gonna happen next? I'm gonna end up getting back into NASCAR, pick a favorite NASCAR driver, and they're just gonna quit. Like, for all I know.
The car just dies halfway around the track. Just the engine just shoots out.
Yes, but to answer all the sports out there for my teams, because I guess I didn't really get into that. Soccer, I got really big into soccer probably like 5 years ago during COVID, watching the 2020 Euros. And I knew soccer before then. I love my favorite player. Besides everybody's favorite player, Cristiano Ronaldo, who is the GOAT.
Who's slightly inferior to Lionel Messi.
No, disagree.
We've had that disagreement on this podcast.
But huge Wayne Rooney fan, so that's why I picked them. I pick my favorite sports teams based off of my favorite player. I don't pick it off of culture, where I'm from at all. Like if I was born in England, yeah, if I was born in the middle of nowhere and have to cheer for damn Birmingham City FC, sure. But that's Ed Sheeran's favorite team, dude. He's from Ipswich. No, I'm serious. He's been to like some of their games this year.
That's phenomenal.
And Birmingham City, who plays in either League One or the Championship, is co-owned by J.J. Watt. Have you heard that's going on? Oh, dude, this is great. So J.J. Watt co-owns this team. Their goalkeeper, I think they play in the championship. Yes, because he snapped the longest game streak. Their goalkeeper DM'd J.J. Watt and was like, "Hey, no more goals scored on me the rest of the year. You come out of retirement and play for the Bengals." And J.J. Watt said, "Bet." Guess who hasn't allowed a goal in 10 fucking games and set a championship record?
Oh.
Birmingham City's fucking. They only have like 11 games left, and he's not going to play in all of them. Dude, think of J.J. Watt coming out of retirement and playing on the Bengals. Like, that'd be so funny to see.
It'd be amazing because he'd be in TJ's conference.
Maybe. TJ might get traded, dude. That's been a rumor floating around the NFL.
He won't.
But so I cheer for Man United, and everybody's like, "Oh, never pick one of the big six." Really? Have you ever been in a depression where one of the big six is big 15th in the fucking Premier League? Hasn't won a domestic Premier League since 2013? No. So I will stick with them. I will run them out. For all you haters that join Man United in 3 years from now when we're fucking good again, fuck you. Come during the hardship.
I think some Boston Red Sox fans from back in the day would like to talk to you about it.
But they were at least always good. They just couldn't close. We're just fucking bad right now. Like, we are just...
For a very long period of time.
Yeah, 100 years. We are bad. Like, all those people during the golden years of the 90s and 2000s of Manchester United that are crap-talking the team right now, it's like, dude, you couldn't have had it any better. You won 13 Premier Leagues in 20 years and 2 Champions Leagues and 900 FA Cups and Carabao Cups and Community Shields. You came away, Sir Alex Ferguson gave you like 20 or like 33 trophies in 20 years of coaching. Stick with us during the hard time. Right? Yeah, that man, everybody that's like, oh, Pep's the GOAT. Well, Pep's not even winning the Premier League this year. Alex Ferguson did it 13 fucking times in 20 years. He took a team that finished 16th his first year and won the Premier League in 2 years after that. So anyway, that's why I cheer for them. You gotta love Wayne Rooney. Dallas Mavericks, I love Dirk because the one shot I can hit at basketball is a fadeaway little jumper like his off the backboard. The only shot I can hit in basketball. So that's why I cheer for the Mavericks. Houston Astros, I played baseball all the way through high school, and my entire play style was copied off of Jeff Bagwell. So if you ever see an old picture of me playing first base and you compare it to a picture of Jeff Bagwell, I just look like a really unathletic Jeff Bagwell sitting out there on first base with some spec racks on.
He's just a lefty.
I'm not lefty in baseball.
What?
Yeah, I put my glove on my left hand in baseball. Fun fact of the day. Do everything else like left-handed, like you hit and everything.
First base?
Yeah.
Tragic.
It was good. Nickname was Hoover because I sucked every ball up, baby.
I bet you did.
Yep. And what's the other one? Hockey. Hockey's the only one that I'm like, you know what? I'll just cheer for the Hurricanes because I don't know. I don't know enough about hockey to pick a team besides the Hurricanes, and they're the closest team, so fuck it. That's who I cheer for.
I don't know a lot. But I have been to 2 Columbus Blue Jacket games and had a blast. So I would say if I was going to root for anyone, I guess it would be the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I do the Hurricanes. I've never been to a Hurricanes game. Been to a bunch of Charlotte Checkers games, but they don't count because they're like minor league hockey. So I just take the thing. NASCAR, throw it out there for all the old people listening, i.e. my age and older. I, growing up, cheered for Jeff Gordon the entire time and hated Dale Earnhardt. So there's that. But I learned a couple weeks ago that they were like BFFs off of the racetrack. They were like business partners in tons of like business ventures together and all kinds of stuff. But I cheered for Jeff Gordon and hated Dale Earnhardt on the track because he was so good. But I love Jeff Gordon. Everybody didn't like him because he wasn't from the South. But Jeff Gordon was the fucking man, dude. He's the fucking man. Him and Mark Martin driving the Viagra car. Just etching it out 1 inch at a time. Oh, man. We had a long podcast today. Everybody's in for a couple special treats. So if you don't have any more sports, talked about a lot of sports, I'll sign us all off and leave people with a extra special prize, even though we'll probably film one more time before then. So anyway, for all you slammers and the one-fister out there, Tino, shout out. Good old Virginia. You can all follow us on TikTok at Slams Fist Fact. Didn't have TikTok for a while, couldn't post, but it's back at the App Store, so I could re-download it because I got a new phone. You can follow us on Instagram at SlamSwissFact. We also have a Gmail, slamswissfact@gmail.com. There's a funny little trend there going on. If you have any ideas, questions, things you want to see on the podcast, things you want us to talk about that you find interesting, or we'll vet you and we'll put you on the dang podcast if you're interesting enough, that would be great. But follow us on SlamSwissFact. Remember, you can, if you're just listening on Spotify, Apple, or all other podcast platforms, you can always watch the version of if we hold something up and you have no idea what we're talking about, kind of like when I was caressing my beer earlier. You can find us on YouTube at Slam Swiss Fact. We post every video podcast out there. And lastly, we are going to have a special guest on soon. Won't say the name, but out of this podcast and the podcast that doesn't exist, we're going to do two separate things in the same podcast. One is we're going to be in person. So that person, not Rick, but Rick's in Kentucky. It'll be a little tough for him. The person that wants to be on the podcast wants to do it in person with me. So they will be in person in my lovely little office room with a bed. Or maybe downstairs on the couch. That'd probably be easier. But they'll be in person. So we will have our second special. We'll actually have our first guest on for this new season. Because the first person that was on this season was technically a special co-host, first ever special co-host that we had. He'll never let us live that
Doesn't
down.
exist.
Never let us live that down. But we'll do it in person. And secondly, that episode that person is going to film with us will also be live stream on YouTube because that will be the weekend of my birthday. And we are going to record the podcast live on YouTube. We'll edit it and post it out on normal social media, Spotify, Apple, all of the above like normal. And we'll probably end the live. And then we're going to just start the live again immediately after that with the podcast posting. So we're just going to party and hang out with everybody. Answer questions. Just have a blast of a birthday with me, the special guest, Dalton, the one co-host that we had, our buddy Tommy, our buddy Eddie. I invited Paris. So we're going to have like 4 or 5 dudes over hanging on the couch, talking sports, talking whatever. Have the podcast set up downstairs, so it'll be a fun and interesting time. Ryan, I know you and Pickle listen to this every week. Ryan, if you want to come down for my birthday, feel free. Have a small bed that you can stay in. But other than that, Rick, I think we're
Ryan
done.
has to cuddle Dalton.
Ooh, Ryan has to cuddle Dalton. Fact. But anyway, check us out on all those platforms. And don't forget, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe so you get those lovely notifications in the top left corner of your screen to says when we post the next episode. But other than that, everybody have a great week, and we will see you next week. Bye.